Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. This year should be a special schus for Rachel Fradl Bas Devar Peril and Eliezer Moshe Ben Sharna Mariam and Rafal Chaim Dov and Risa Shoshana Shalom Bracha B'tzlach Machas Edem Risa Shlema Maris Sarah Leah Bas Rivka. We asked a kash in the previous shir. This is the third part of the shir, and we asked a kash in the previous shir and the shir before that as well. We've been discussing about the Shitas HaRavid. Ravid holds that there's no kares for entering the Makom HaMikdash Bisman Hazeh, and the teretz we gave, in a nutshell, is that according to the kasha, we didn't have the kasha first. So it's mashma that there's no chiyuv kares, but there is an isser. So manushach, if there's aser, then it should be kares, and if it's not aser, then it should be nothing. So what's pshat that it's not a kares, but it's aser? So the answer is an alt Kedushas HaMikdash, so it doesn't have it anymore according to the Ravid. But there's still a mitzvah of Moira Mikdash. The Ravid holds because of the Kedushas Sahara, there's still Kedusha. It's a Mokum that's Tzorah the Mikdash, Moira Mikdash, and that's what constitutes the Yisur Daraisa, and we fleshed that out in the previous two shiurim. Now we're going to give another Mahalach. This is Rav Ariav Ozer Shlita, in the shir he gave a number of years ago in Tafshin Daled. Shabbos, he gives these amazing Shabbos shiurim that are attended by hundreds of people. This is Shabbos Chazon, Parashas Devarim. So the Pnei Yoshua asks in Shavuos Yud Gimel, what's the reason somebody's nichnas la'azara? He is chayav kares. If he's tameh, it says in the pasuk, ki es mikdash Hashem timeh v'nichrusa, and the mikdash is the heichal. The chatzar hamishkan is not called the mishkan; it's called the chatzar. So then why is somebody chayiv kares for entering the Azara? It should only be if he enters the Heichel. So he says, even though in Anish kares it says Mikdash, about Bas Haras, Shiluach, Machanos, it doesn't say Mikdash, it says Machane. And the Azara is also included in Machane HaShchina. And since the Onesh kares is Misyachis, to the person who's over on the Lav, and the lav includes even machane shchina, therefore he's chayiv kares as well. He also brings from the Rosh in Kalayim, who says that the Azara is also included in the Mikdash. So the whole hanacha, the question, the whole assumption is not correct, that the Azara is not included in the Mikdash. He says that it is, and if you hold that it's not, so then it's included in Shiluach Machanos for Zem Maspik. And we can say that the Ravid holds on one hand like the Rosh, that the Azara is included in the Mikdash, and also like the Pnei Yoshua, that the Azhara Shiluach Machanos is not Tluya B'Shem Mikdash, but rather B'Machane Shechina, and therefore B'Zman Hazeh, that the Kedusha is batal, so there's no Onesh Kares because it's not considered Mikdash. On the other hand, the essay and the lav were said about Machane HaShchina, and Machane HaShchina is chal even if the Kedusha is batal, and the Mela, if somebody goes into the Makom HaMikdash, he is over an Isser Deo Raisa Alt Machane Shchina. So we still have to understand the Rambam, who says that Kedushas HaMikdash is and Yerushalayim are not betelos b'churban, even though Kedushat ha'aretz is batla b'zman churban bayis rishon le'inyan mitzvahs hatzluyos ba'aretz. Toisen Zvachim, Softi Ramas Chumai, on page 61a, says that it's a tema loy markein. It's a wonder to say such a thing, that the Kedushas Mikdash is not batel, and Kedushas HaAretz is batel and mitzvahs ba'aretz. The tema, what's the tema? So nira kavanas ha-teisvis, that b'pshuto Kedushas HaMikdash mitvasefet ve'ola al gabe Kedushas HaAretz, that Kedushas HaMikdash is built on Kedushas HaAretz, and that's how the Kedushas, 10 Kedushas are rated in Meseches Kelim, Perak Aleph, Mishnayis Vav until Tes, Eser Kedushas Hem. 10 Kedushas, Eretz Yisrael Kedusha Mekol Dolch Mekol Aratzis, Eretz Mekofes Chom Mekudashis Menu, Lefnim Menachom Mekudashim, go weiter, Harabayis Mekudash, then the Chel. So Pshat Advarim is that Shekol Koma Nosefet B'Kedusha, every additional floor Kiviyachol of Kedusha is B'nuya al Gabei Chaverta Shelamata Mimena. It's built on the lower level of Kedusha. So how is it shaykh that the Kedusha B'sisit should be batal, i.e. Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, and the Kedushas HaMikdash should remain? Hayitachin Davar Kazeh. But the Achronim were already married, the Otzar HaSifri, of Agon Reb Menachem Zembe, Zecher Tzadik, V'Kadosh Levracha, the Mikdash David of Agon Reb David Rappaport Zatzal, who's a Rebbe in Baranovich, Bar Elchonon. It's also brought in the Chedusha Agriz Menachas Memhei, in the name of the Griz's father, the Grach Bekitzer, and also in Mishnah Rebbe Aaron and Zraim, that there are two Kedushas in Eretz Yisrael. One is Kedushas HaMitzvah Tluyas Baretz and Kedushas and the other one is Kedushas HaShchina. Because the Mishnah, when it's coming to Mefarish Kedushas Eretz Yisrael Mikol HaRatzos, explains what its Kedusha is, that you bring Omer and Bikurim and Shtei Alechem, when you don't bring from the other Aratzos. So we have to understand why these Dvarim Misuyamim and not Shar Dvar Mitzvahs Hatluyos Ba'aretz, like Trumas, Maisrus, and Shvias. So we'll see from here that the inyan of the Eser Kedushas are Kedushas Shchina She'al HaMakom, and only Le'inyan, this Kedusha, Kedushas Yerushalayim, is greater than Shar Eretz Yisrael, and it has nothing to do with Mitzvahs Hatluyos Ba'aretz that are Tluyos B'Kibush HaRabim, V'lav Dafka B'Kedushas Shchina She'ba'aretz. And only those that are Kariv B'Mikdash, those things that are brought in the Mikdash, are Shaykh to Kedushas Shchina She'ba'aretz, and we have discussed this at length in a previous shir. So that explains why the Mishnah, when it tells us what the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael is, Mikol HaRatzos, says they bring Omer Bikurim and Shtei Alechem, because it's talking about the Kedusha out Kedushas HaShchina, and not Kedushas HaMitzvahs. Kedushas HaMitzvahs, then their Eretz Yisrael is equal everywhere. But Linyan Kedushas HaShchina, Gedola Kedushas Yerushalayim, Mishar Eretz Yisrael, the rest of Eretz Yisrael is Kibush Rabim. Linyan Kedushas HaShchina, Yerushalayim is greater. And Memela, we want to talk about the Kedushas HaShchina of Yerushalayim, and this Kedusha is never batal, so that is proven by the fact that you bring Omer, Bikurim, and Shtei Halechem. That's the Kedushas HaShchina of Eretz Yisrael. And what was batal was Kedushas HaMitzvahs. And already the Tashbitz was marich b'tshuvoisav in Chelek Gimel, Kuf Tzadi Ches, and on, that Ever Hayarden HaMizrachi, what they call in English the Transjordan, has no Kedushas Shchina Vizgulas Ha'aretz. Like Bnei Yisrael said to the 2.5 Shvatim, Sheba Ever Hayarden, V'achim Tmeretz Achuzaschem, Ubelechem L'Aretz Achuzas Hashem, Asher Shochen Sham Mikshkan Hashem, Ve'achzu B'soichenu. That if Eretz Achuzaschem is Tmeya, then pass over the Jordan to Eretz Achuzas Hashem, where the Mishkan Hashem is Shochen, and hold on to a portion among us, like the Ramban brings in Parshas Chukas from the Medrash, that Ever HaYarden is not Roy L'Bniyas Beis HaMikdash or L'Shchinas HaShchina. And even though Mitzvah Tluyas Baretz are knowing there, and the Rashbitz proved this from numerous places, and the Chazon Ish was Mechabi Midaito and Shvi's Siman Gimel, but as far as Kedushas HaShchina, that the Ever HaYarden doesn't have. And therefore, we see this chiluk between Kedushas HaShchina and Kedushas HaAretz, Kedushas Mitzvah Tluyas Baretz, that's even an Ever HaYarden. And then you have the Kedushas HaShchina, which is not an Ever HaYarden. and therefore the Mishnah is noket Havas Omer Bikur Mishtei Alechem. That's talui in Kedushas Shechina and not Kedushas Mitzvah Tluyas Ba'aretz, and therefore they don't come Omer Bikur Mishtei Alechem from Ever Yarden. And with this, the Tashbis explain what the onish of Moshe Rabbeinu was, that he shouldn't come into Eretz Yisrael. The Welt frekt, he got to Ever Yarden. Ever Yarden was miskadesh b'kedushas mitzvahs hatluyas ba'aretz. But Moshe Rabbeinu vilkimin. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to come to Eretz Yisrael, which is the land that is holy b'kedushas hashchina la'or be'or pnei hamelech, to go into the light and shine in God's light. And with this we can explain that and say, there maseh be'inyan horashis b'nei Yisrael es haaretz v'yeshivasam ba uledas harambam. It's a mitzvah's essay that they should inherit the land. We didn't include the makomas shebe'ever yarden hamar. We only included the makomas shebe'ever yarden hamaravi, the west of the Jordan. But the Jordan itself is Gvul Mizrach. And then we only included Ever Yarden HaMa'aravi. Elu'umaz, since Seder Dvarim, the pasuk enumerates the Kibush Kol Arim Shebe'ever HaYarden HaMizrachi, that they were also commanded to capture. The Mefarshim were choker, if the Iker mitzvah is the Kibush and the Shlita, and the yeshiva is not itself a mitzvah, or it is a mitzvah but it's only for Chizak HaKibush, or that the Iker mitzvah is the yeshiva and the Kibush is only a machshir, it's an emtsa'i, it's a means for the efsharut of the yeshiva. And we explain that chiluk makomos yesh. Be'ever yarden hama'aravi, the Iker is yeshiva ba'aretz, asher hi mishkan hashchina. So in the west of the Jordan, the Iker there is the yeshiva, because there is the Mishkan Hashem, and if you live there, it's as if you have a God, like the Gemara says. Every Yarden Uzracha, the Iker mitzvah is the kibush, and the yeshiva is not a mitzvah if natzma, because Kedushas Haaretz and Skulas Hashchina are only be'ever Yarden HaMa'aravi, and therefore in Seder Maseh we're talking about the yeshiva. The kibush is only an emtsa'i for the yeshiva. There it says, "V'horashtem etzaretz v'yashavtem ba." The Iker is the yeshiva, therefore it doesn't include Ever Hayarden HaMizrachi. There we're talking about the Chalukas Haaretz l'shvatim b'goral al pi Hashem, and the Goralos were only for the Chalakim shebe'ever Hayarden HaMa'aravi, the west of the Jordan, like the Sforno says, that Eretz Sichon ve'og, that don't have Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, is not Roy L'Goyrol, which is in Yana Baruch HaKodesh. Loikein Parashas Dvarim is talking about the kibush, not the yeshiva, and therefore in Parashas Dvarim, all of the Arim HaNechbashos are mentioned, even in the Ever Yarden HaMizrachi. So when we're talking about the kibush, where the kibush is the Iker, we can talk about the west of the Jordan, or the east of the Jordan. When we're talking about yeshiva, like in Parashas Maseh, we only talk about the west. There the Iker is the dwelling, because there is the makom hashchina. So now we can say in conclusion that even though Kedushas Haaretz b'teila, k'shehuglu me'artzem ubatel hakibush, zeu rak le'inyan mitzvahs tluyos ba'aretz, k'trumas u'maisros v'shviyos v'chadoyme, shehi kedusha tluya b'kibush. And even if they're kovesh b'kibush rabim, other mekaymas, they're also mischayiv b'mitzvahs, because it's the kibush that's mischayiv, not the Kedushas Haaretz ha'atzmis, kol makom asher tidor kaf raglechem lechem yiyeh, that it's the kibush that's koveya. Aval Kedushas hashchina shebe'eretz Yisrael loy b'teila mikol oisam ha'mekaymas shekova she'yeshua. And also not from those places that Olei Bavel were not kovesh, like Rabbi Ashturi HaParchi writes in the Kaftor of Aferach, and therefore he chose to dwell in Beit Sha'an, even though the Olei Bavel did not capture Beit Sha'an, Lahodia Shekdushat Haaretz Uma'alotea Vizgulotea kayamot b'chol haaretz. And this kedusha is the first of the Eser Kedushos that are shaykh to the Mikdash. And therefore the Rambam holds that Kedushas Yerushalayim in the Mikdash, which is Mishum HaShechina, is not B'Telo Olamis, because Kedushas HaShechina Shebe Eretz Yisrael is also not Batel. So we see very beautifully this Yisod that even though there is no chiyuv midorais of mitzvah tluyos ba'aretz, that is batel, but Kedushas Shechina is not batel, and it's in all Eretz Yisrael, just like before the Churban, because it's al Shechina, and the Shechina is olamis, yiratzain, l'choinen es beis chayenu, ula'ashiv, Shechinato b'tochenu, v'mheira v'yameinu, amen v'yamein, shalom shalom, sweetest and most beloved friends.